So what is building walls, breaking walls? Quite simply, it's building walls. That's the first part of it. We bring the youth exchange to 3 different places, to Cape Clear Island in West Cork, down to the ocean environment there. We bring it to the Jura Mountains in Switzerland, to the mountain environment, and we bring it to the Negev Desert in the south of Israel, to the desert environment there. And we build walls. That's one part of it. Yeah, we build walls. It's called building walls, breaking walls. The breaking walls part is that we break down intercultural differences, misunderstandings, and different. It's about doing intercultural work together. So we have the building walls and the breaking walls. So by spending time together, we contribute something to the local environment. They learn new skills, they get out with nature, and they add to heritage environment projects. And whilst doing that, they also have sessions discussing their intercultural differences, stereotypes, boundaries and borders, and all sorts of intercultural dialogue. And of course, as with all youth exchanges, there are also the additional things like doing some outdoor activities and the lovely social events, and they get to do, cook food with each other and all other things like this, So that's the concept, building walls, breaking walls.
Usually people just want to talk about themselves, or they just want to express themselves and where they come from, but here it's just like they listen and they give you the time to speak. And it's like they want to know who you really are and where you come from, and that's very important because it's supportive and encourages you to speak more and to do more and to interact more. So yeah, that was interesting.
I was actually very surprised at the similarities between everyone. I was expecting the differences to be kind of the big stark differences between everyone, but we're all only just people. Like, you kind of realise that when you come on these things.
We know that walls can have very negative connotations, but it can be very neutral or even positive connotations in another context. So we wanted to include the regions where we have separation walls, security walls, and work with this symbol, with this notion of wall in all these different layers. That's why it's important to have the Middle East, it's important to have the northwest of Europe, especially when you think of the peace walls that we have in Belfast and of the walls and the borders we have between the different regions.
Through being here and experience, it kind of opens their mind a wee bit more. It broadens horizons on the stereotypes and the culture kind of closed-mindedness that they have, and kind of gives them an open mind and a better perspective that we're mostly all similar, just in different parts of the world.
It's an unbelievable experience. I feel like it's just so interesting. It's so interesting, and I could just even though we only know each other a few days, it's as if we know each other forever. We're all just a family, and it's honestly, hands down, one of the best experiences of my life, and I'll never forget it.
Before I got involved with breaking walls, I really had no motivation to do anything. Biggest change was definitely, I was doing nothing at all beforehand before I started working with Viv, and by going to these different places, different places and seeing how people lived there, it's just lit a fire up under my ass, so to speak, really, to do something and to see the world, and it's just eye-opening really, to see everything and see how people live, in other countries, especially in Israel in the desert, because it's drastically different. So I just found it absolutely amazing. The biggest change in myself was confidence. It really built up a lot of confidence for me to do things. You feel good after you see the result. There's satisfaction after seeing that result. And so then that made me want to go out and do work, and I realised that I liked physical work, so I went out and got a trade, and I'm a year into it now and doing well, and I'm really enjoying it.
I think building walls, you can see a lot of teamwork, people working together, especially when there will be someone from Israel, someone from Palestine, Cork. It's so good to see everyone coming together and doing something good, and we're doing something good for the farmer. I believe that it's hard, but I think I believe this is a really good opportunity for us to bond a lot more but it's been a really good opportunity and I love doing it.
I learned a lot about the other cultures as well, that they are not so different like you probably could have thought. They are all just young people, as I am. So it's really interesting to talk to them.
Each time you're going to learn something new because it's different people come in, there's different opinions, want to tell you different stories. It just makes you think a lot. You do a lot of thinking, you do a lot of self-reflecting. So I feel like in my own self I have done a lot of that, and I've learned a lot about myself as well, about me as a person and about how I approach other people and how I learn as well. When I was the first time I went on the youth exchange in Lausanne, I felt it was a lot about learning about the other cultures, and now on this one it's a lot about learning about me and about how I reflect and how I learn as a person.
So I think like the small connections. I mean, we had like great big activities with all the group, but the thing that touches me the most and like the greatest things, like getting to know like personally, in the personal level, like to understand like behind the activities, like to see like the true moments. That's what catches me the most. That's what I love the most about this project, actually. I always was like focusing on my problem, and I didn't like have the chance to like get to know, like to look around like universally. I mean, looking around in my country and then try to get to know like the Arabs and the other side, but there's like complicated stuff is like very different from like other people complicated stuff, but it's like in some things it's the same and it's like similar, and that's what it's sometimes really amazing to see that.
I really recommend to everyone to do any international exchange or youth culture. It opens your mind, you get to meet new people, new cultures, new foods, and you also just learn a lot because everyone here has a different culture night, like a Swiss night, Palestinian night, Israeli night, etc. So you really get to learn about like geography-wise about each country, and like really dive into every single country, which is not something that I would necessarily like learn about on the day-to-day basis. So I would definitely recommend for anyone to go and do it. It's like really opens your eyes and teaches you how to learn kind of too.
Anybody thinking of doing a youth exchange, I would say to them, get the support of your organisation, you know. Get them to believe in the idea of it. It's a wonderful experience for any project, any youth project in the country to get involved in. It's a lot of work. I wouldn't pretend that it isn't. There's a lot of paperwork involved in that, but the results are enormous. You know, there are huge benefits from getting involved in a youth exchange. Bringing young people together from other countries, you know, it's a wonderful concept, and as I said, there are great outcomes, you know, that can come out of it.
Well, this has definitely been the best week of this year for me. It's an experience for sure, so I'd highly recommend it. I think if you get the opportunity, jump at it. Like, you know, you won't have a better time. You know what I mean? You won't learn more, you won't experience more, and it's going to stay with you. Like, I can't, yeah, I don't think I'm going to have a better week this year, and unless I get to go to Israel or one of the other exchanges, but you know, that's the same story again.
Youth work programmes and icebreakers and team building, they're all the exact same, only different names, and so it's just similar, but you find more of the growth in yourself. You've come out of that kind of wee field that you're in, that wee, for me, from like we're deprived area, so our youth centre wouldn't really have much funding or anything like that. So for me, I would absolutely recommend any youth worker, and for the feel the achievement in themselves and development to go on and grow.
We need to see international work like this as part of youth work, as part of everyday youth work. I think the problem is, or what I keep hearing is people saying, yeah, that's, you know, we don't have time for that, or like we're trying to do our local youth work, or that's a luxury, you know, or is it a junket, or is it all these things in it? And the reality is, this is youth work. It's the greatest thing we can contribute to our young people, I think, to give them this carrot that they can actually work towards and build up towards, take them out of the bubble of their local community and actually take them somewhere and experience and link with young people from other cultures and learn like that. They learn much more from that than they will from going on their week's sun holiday. And I think that there is paperwork involved in, but we have a great national agency, Léargas, who handhold and help through the process there and that. And I would just encourage every project that you can do it too. And I think more communities should be doing it. Let's think global, rather than just so local, and let's bring people on the journey with us. That's what I would encourage.